How's it going, everybody? SESvince here. It's that time again, pay-per-view prediction time. We're going to be predicting this Sunday's Survivor Series pay-per-view on the WWE Network, where we have Monday Night Raw taking on Smackdown Live for brand supremacy. We have 3 traditional Survivor Series tag team matches and 2 interpromotional championship matches between the 2 shows. But not only that, we have the rematch of Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar. So let's get to it. The Cruiserweight Championship will be defended this Sunday as SmackDown's Kalisto takes on the Cruiserweight Champion Brian Kendrick, and there's a lot at stake in this match. Now, if Kalisto wins, not only does he walk away with the Cruiserweight Championship, but he also brings the entire Cruiserweight division to SmackDown Live. Now, SmackDown is going to get that 205 Live Cruiserweight show, so it would make sense if the Cruiserweight division were to go to SmackDown, considering they have that Cruiserweight show, and Monday Night Raw really hasn't been utilizing the Cruiserweights to their best of their abilities, so that's something that could happen. But at the end of the day, I feel like Monday Night Raw will be keeping the Cruiserweights, and Brian Kendrick will be walking away with the Cruiserweight Championship, because the Cruiserweights stay on Monday Night Raw. You get to still showcase them on the flagship show, which is Monday Night Raw. And not only that, if they're interested in the Cruiserweights, they can go ahead and watch 205 Live on the WWE Network after SmackDown or sometime during the week. So that's what I feel is going to happen. I feel like Brian Kendrick keeps the title. And here's the thing, not only that, like if Brian Kendrick keeps the title, you have a built-in rivalry with TJ Perkins already. You have Rich Swann, who's already had 2 clean pinfall victories against the champion. And you have Noam Dar, who he attacked and then got the upper hand on Brian Kendrick last week. When they were in Glasgow, Scotland. So that's 3 feuds, rivalries right then and there, which could lead to a triple threat, a fatal 4-way, or singles matches spread out through a period of time. And here's the thing, at some point SmackDown maybe makes their own Cruiserweight division, and that's what 205 Live is. The second of 2 championship matches this Sunday will have SmackDown's Intercontinental Champion, The Miz, taking on Raw's Sami Zayn. Now, The Miz just recently won the title on SmackDown this past Tuesday in a very, very disappointing match, just because I was really hoping for, and I'm sure a lot of people were as well, they were hoping for Dolph Ziggler to walk away with the championship. We really didn't think Miz had a chance to win the championship, but he did in a shocking result. Miz will be facing Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn versus Dolph Ziggler would have been a great match. They would have stolen the show, as Dolph Ziggler likes to say. They would have put on a great performance, but we ended up getting The Miz. Now, the supposed rumors going around as to why we got the change is because WWE is thinking of having Kalisto walk away with the Cruiserweight Championship and bringing the entire Cruiserweight division to SmackDown, kind of like balance everything out. And then Raw will take the Intercontinental Championship to their show on Monday nights when Sami Zayn beats The Miz. And they would prefer Sami Zayn beat a heel in The Miz as opposed to a babyface in Dolph Ziggler. Now, I get the reasoning behind that, but I think that doesn't really work out. I feel like how it really should be is The Miz now has to be The Miz because he won he's going to be defending the championship. The Miz walks away with the Intercontinental Championship. If Dolph Ziggler couldn't walk away with the championship due to shenanigans on The Miz's part, hopefully neither can Sami Zayn. And don't get me wrong, I love Sami Zayn, but here's the catch. So Stephanie McMahon said that if Sami Zayn doesn't bring the Intercontinental Championship to Monday Night Raw, there will be consequences. Basically, that's her whole thing. If Monday Night Raw doesn't win, there'll be consequences for the superstars that don't follow through with that. Now, she already claimed like 2 weeks ago or something that she's not a big fan of Sami Zayn and she dislikes him. So a loss for Sami Zayn would mean that maybe Stephanie McMahon is just sick of him, puts him through hell for a couple weeks, or maybe just fires him altogether. He ends up on SmackDown, and that's kind of the way it should be. And then Sami Zayn gets his rematch against The Miz, and then that's when he actually becomes Intercontinental Champion. I think that would be so much more better. I've already stated why I think Kalisto's going to win. I mean, it isn't going to win. Why Kalisto isn't going to win. And this is why I feel like The Miz should walk away with the Intercontinental Championship on Sunday. So that's who I have this Sunday. Nothing against Sami Zayn. I love Sami Zayn. But I don't want the Intercontinental Championship on Monday Night Raw. Alright, so why don't we talk about the traditional Survivor Series tag team matches. We have the 10-on-10 tag team elimination match. So for any of you guys that may not have known or wasn't really explained on TV and you guys didn't catch it, basically the way the eliminations are going to work out is that if you pin one member of that specific team, both members are eliminated. So if you're on Monday Night Raw and you're Enzo and Cass and you're facing off against the Usos, all you have to do is beat one of the Usos and both of them are eliminated. That's how that's going to work. So now that we have the rules straightened out, let's go to who I feel is going to win this match. And I think the SmackDown team is going to win this match just because I feel like there's more unity, as Team Bad used to say, between all 10 members of that Survivor Series team. The only tension we saw right there was maybe Breezango not being team players, but that was taken care of thanks to King Puka. Then you have the Usos who were had some tension with American Alpha, but that only lasted for about a minute and a half or so in their 8-on-8 tag team match on SmackDown. I feel like Rhino and Slater have done a good job of unifying their teams, getting them on the same page. And to be fair, on Monday Night Raw, it's really the New Day being annoying. Then you have the club, Enzo and Cass, just hating on each other, not getting along with anybody. Then you have Sheamus and Cesaro bickering with one another. Then you have the Shining Stars, who aren't really too much to talk about. There's not too much there. I would love to see Heath Slater pin the Shining Stars, one of the Shining Star members. He's the one that gets the elimination, or maybe Rhino, I don't know. Just because if you saw on Talking Smack a couple weeks ago, Heath Slater bought some fake timeshares from the Shining Stars, and I thought that was hilarious. He did a great job of putting over the Shining Stars. I think that would be a nice little comeuppance for the Shining Stars, and a little measure of revenge for Slater and Rhino. Now, the reason why I feel like the SmackDown team is going to win, not because they're better than the Raw team in any specific way. I feel like Anderson and Gallows have established that they don't care about team supremacy, of brand supremacy, of who's better. They just care about themselves, being mean and making green, as they like to say. I feel like, and they've already stated that they won't stab their team in the back the first chance they'll get. So I feel like that's gonna be what happens. I feel like Anderson and Gallows are gonna stab maybe the New Day or Enzo and Cass in the back, and it's gonna lead to a little mini feud where eventually Gallows and Anderson get the championship, or because they cost their team the match, Stephanie McMahon is pissed off and fires them, or trades them to SmackDown, or sends them somewhere else, or does something happens so that the club gets reunited with AJ on SmackDown. Because the rumors going around is backstage they're not happy with the way they've been booked and portrayed on TV on Monday Night Raw, and they are looking for a change in the move to SmackDown. So hopefully that happens. Next, we have the women 5-on-5 elimination tag team match, where Team Raw, consisting of The Boss, Sasha Banks, Bayley, Nia Jax, Alicia Fox, and the current Raw Women's Champion, Charlotte, and they will be taking on Team Captain on SmackDown, Nikki Bella, SmackDown Women's Champion, Becky Lynch, Naomi, Carmella, Alexa Bliss, and they have their coach, Natalya. Now, to be fair, Raw's going to have Dana Brooke on their corner, so I guess that cancels each other out. So expect some shenanigans or something to take place. on like ringside area between Natalya and Dana Brooke. Now, this match I feel is going to go a specific way. I think the story has been laid out pretty easily. The story that has been told from the beginning is that Bayley is the weak link of the group, or at least that's what Charlotte believes, and that's what most of the women believe, that she's the weak link, she's the lovable, huggable Bayley, and she really won't be able to help them out as much. Obviously, if you've watched NXT, you know that's not true. That's the furthest thing from the truth. And SmackDown really had the upper hand against the Raw women when they invaded on Tuesday, and usually that means is that Raw's probably gonna win. The way it's probably gonna work out is you're gonna see Alicia Fox maybe be the first one be taken out. I think it's gonna take 3 finishers just to take out Nia Jax. I can see maybe trying to think who's on the match. Alexa Bliss hits Nia Jax with something. Becky Lynch hits her with something. Naomi hits her with something, and maybe Nikki finishes off Nia Jax with I don't know, Bella Buster or something. I don't know what Nikki Bella's gonna be. If Nikki Bella can lift up Nia Jax for her TKO finisher, that'd be fantastic. I think that'd be a great way to eliminate Nia. Obviously, women like Naomi and Carmella and Alexa aren't really gonna do too much. I feel like they're gonna be eliminated just because I feel like Carmella and Nikki Bella at the end of the day aren't gonna be able to get along, and then Alexa Bliss and Becky Lynch aren't gonna be able to get along too much. I feel like I wouldn't be surprised, and I feel like this might happen if Alexa Bliss or Carmella just walks out on their teammates and gets counted out. That could be an easy way for them to get eliminated and not look weak. I think that's what's going to end up happening. I could see Alexa Bliss being the person that's like, you know what, screw this. I don't need this. I'm going to walk away, and I don't need these girls. I'm going to do things on my own. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. And maybe it's in a situation where it's 3-on-2 or 4-on-2, and it's Charlotte and Bayley last, and then Charlotte finally gets eliminated. It's just Bayley by herself taking on 2 members of SmackDown Live's women's division, and she comes away with the victory, looking strong, looking like the dominant, deserving top women wrestler on Monday Night Raw that she is. And I think that'll be great, and it'll give her a legitimate claim to be the new #1 contender. Obviously, Sasha's probably going to get a rematch against Charlotte. She's going to lose, go into a program with Nia Jax or maybe Emelina, something like that, and then Bayley goes into a program with Charlotte, and this is all going to lead up to a triple threat between Charlotte, Sasha, and Bayley at WrestleMania 33. But yeah, that's what I got going on. I got Bayley walking away with the victory for her team. Monday Night Raw gets this W. Next, we have Goldberg taking on Brock Lesnar in the WrestleMania 20 rematch. Now, their segment they had on Monday Night Raw this past Monday was great. What they've really done up to this point to build up this feud has been great. I've enjoyed it very much. The only downside was that one Monday Night Raw where Brock was in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and everybody kept booing Goldberg and cheering him. Now, in this match, I have Brock Lesnar going over on Goldberg. I don't think WWE is going to let their dominant beast be 0-2 against Goldberg, a former WCW superstar. I really don't see the logic in a almost near 50-year-old man in Goldberg beating the current beast of WWE and Brock Lesnar when a superstar like Randy Orton, Dean Ambrose, John Cena, or The Undertaker really couldn't do so. So I really, just based on that, I really don't see Goldberg walking away with the victory. Maybe he gets a second match at WrestleMania, and that's when he gets his send-off match and goes over on somebody, hopefully Rusev. Maybe that's something that could happen. That's something I speculated. Rusev can come in and cost Goldberg the match, based on their confrontation a couple weeks back when Goldberg debuted. It'd be interesting. It'd be a nice little feud to build up to at WrestleMania. and it'd be something that Rusev really deserves. He deserves a high-profile match, and Goldberg's a nice name for him to go up against. So that's what I have. I have Brock Lesnar going over in this match. I'm not talking too much about this match just because there's really not too much to say. I'm just going to let it happen. My expectations for this match are very low. Just look at WrestleMania 20 and you'll know why. That's why Brock Lesnar is walking away with the victory this Sunday at Survivor Series. Finally, we have the 5-on-5 men's elimination match between Team Raw and Team SmackDown Live. On Team Raw, you have the Universal Champion Kevin Owens, his best friend Chris Jericho, the US Champion Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and Braun Strowman. And on the other side of that ring, they'll be facing the World Champion AJ Styles, the Commissioner of SmackDown Live Shane McMahon, Dean Ambrose, Bray Wyatt, and Randy Orton. Now, to be fair, this match can go one of two ways. I prefer Team SmackDown to get the win. It helps SmackDown as a whole a lot more, and I feel it gives Raw more storylines to go forward. But I wouldn't be surprised if Team SmackDown loses, just because The Undertaker came back and essentially threatened the entire members of the team that if they don't walk away with the victory for SmackDown, they'll have him to deal with. And rumors going around is that that's the plan. Undertaker's next feud going forward will be one of the members that loses against Team Raw in Survivor Series. So that could be one of the feuds going into that. But who would it be? Would it really be Shane McMahon? I don't want to see that. AJ Styles and Dean Ambrose, they have a championship match at TLC. Maybe something afterwards. Maybe AJ faces Undertaker. I think AJ would do a great job at getting the most out of Undertaker. That'd be great. I'd be looking forward to that. But other than that, I don't want to see Undertaker Bray again, or Randy Orton Bray Undertaker again. It's just not working out. And it looks maybe Kane Undertaker versus Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton, but that can happen whether they win or not. I prefer Team SmackDown to win. Honestly, this match is a toss-up. It can go either way. Both teams look great going into it, but I have Team SmackDown walking away with the victory. How hilarious would it be if James Ellsworth, the guy that's been bugging AJ Styles for months and months on end, is the reason AJ Styles gets the win on maybe Raw's Universal Champion, Kevin Owens? James Ellsworth's there for a reason. He's going to have something to do, and he's going to have something to say in that match. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case. And, Team SmackDown all the way. That's it, guys. That's my predictions for the matches confirmed so far for Survivor Series. I'm SESvince, and I'm out.